What's going on, everyone? Tanner Poppet here of Madrost and Poppet's Corner. Just wanted to remind you guys that our first record, Maleficent, is being reissued at NoLifeTomatoRecords.com. That's right. Just type in the search bar and place your pre-orders now at NoLifeTomatoRecords.com. That's right. What was it again? Oh, yeah. NoLifeTomatoRecords.com. Now, let's check out the episode you actually came to see. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another edition of Poppet's Corner. Another doozy of an episode. This was really, really fucking difficult for me personally to do. But before we get to the topic at hand, I want to obviously bring back on the co-host, the co-captain of Poppet's Corner, the one and only Mr. Shannon Fry. Shannon, how you doing, man?
I'm good, man. It's my day off, and I'm enjoying it.
It's good, dude.
I'm doing good.
So the topic at hand is one that you had suggested, and this one, I did not expect it to be this challenging, but it turned out to be a very challenging episode for me. Then we're going to do the top 10 Twisted Sister songs. I'm a huge fan. I'm sure you are as well for suggesting this. Man, this was difficult for me. I don't know how it was for you, but
yeah, this one was really easy for me. This is one of my all-time favorite bands. So just putting them in the correct order was the hard part for me.
Well, they only literally had, like, besides the last two records, which I didn't really count, it's like a re-recording of Stay Hungry and then that Christmas album. They were cool, but I was just going back to the first 5 albums, and the only clunker for me was Love Is for Suckers. It was really difficult for me to get through that album and try and decide what to put on. But my list spans just the first 5 records. I don't know what it is for you, but
yeah, I tried the first 5. I got through the first 4.
Okay, yeah. I like I said, I needed to put in something from the stinker in the catalog of Twisted Sisters. So, if you don't mind, I'd love to go first on this one and take it away. So,
yeah.
All right. So my number 10 here, and I have the single here, but I'm going with this is off of the You Can't Stop Rock and Roll release. This is I'm Me. This song just rules. It's just so heavy, it's so mid-pasty, and just rips your balls off, dude. It's fucking rules. So I'm going with I'm Me as my number 10. So there you go.
Right on. So my number 10 is off the Come Out and Play album, and it's the song "The Fire Still Burns." This is it's like a revenge story almost. Like, this guy's in this song, he's pissed, and he's trying not to show it, but it's so catchy, and the lyrics are just, yeah, he's pissed, and it's just a grand song, man. So number 10 for me, Fire Still Burns.
More of that in a couple minutes here. So my number 9 comes from, and I couldn't find the cover, but this is the nice cassette, the Under the Blade release, and I'm going with the title track. This song is fucking heavy. I mean, one of my first, I think, Twisted Sister songs I ever heard was it was a game over, and then the fucking lead that comes in, I mean, I want to just get off the broadcast now and just fucking jam this right now. It's so good. So I'm going with Under the Blade, number 9.
Right on. So my number 9 is off the Under the Blade album, and it's the song "Shoot 'Em Down." Shoot 'em down, shoot 'em down, shoot 'em down to the ground. Yeah, it's quite a doozy. I like the riff. I like the riff in it. I like the chorus. It's just makes you want to headbang, man. It's one of those. I just love it. So yeah, shoot 'em down.
Absolutely, man. I can't agree more with you on this one. This one, that particular track, when I first heard it, I didn't realize there was an F-bomb until I got to it. And when I got to it, I was like, this is the greatest thing ever. Because I was like fucking 12, dude. So, you know.
Right.
It was my excuse to hear an F-bomb in a song. So cool, man. So I'm gonna go. This is the only song off this album, and it was really difficult for me to get through it. But I did find a gem on the "Love Is for Suckers" release, and I'm going with "Wake Up the Sleeping Giant." This song rules. This is the first track off of it, and it's super heavy, and I just rules. So going with that one, "Wake Up the Sleeping Giant."
Right on. Okay, my number. What are we on? 8. Yeah, number 8. Uh, my other title track of Under the Blade, and just like you said earlier, it kicks your ass. There's not much more I can add to that.
We can end the broadcast now if we want. Just go the whole fucking song. All right. So my number 7, all I'm gonna say is this: down, 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 down. That's all it needs to be said, right?
Right
You can't
on.
stop rock and roll. Rules. Just everything about the song. I love the fucking video. I love the cheese factor. It's just awesome, man. Twisted Sister have like the greatest fucking music videos, in my opinion, of
Yeah,
the
they do.
80s.
They do.
Just rules. So there you go. You can't stop rock and roll. And again, the riff, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's a heavy song. All right, so my moving on number 7 is off the Stay Hungry album and the song Burn in Hell. This one, man, this one, it's got the slow intro, it's kind of dark, and then it kicks in and just rips your face off. And I also remember seeing this certain, they were filming the video during the movie of Pee Wee Herman's Big Adventure. So it was kind of cool to see that they're doing the video on the car and everything. But yeah, so I've been a really huge fan of this song since I heard it when it first came out back in the 80s, 83, I think. But yeah, Burn in Hell.
Absolutely. And I think it came out in 84, if I'm not mistaken. So don't quote me on that. I think Stay Hungry was 84. I got to add to this song real quick because I was going to add, yeah, it was in Pee Wee's Big Adventure. I don't think the music video actually exists. I think that was just shot for the movie. I don't think it was actually a music video shot for the song.
It is. It
Oh,
is.
there is.
Yeah.
Ooh. Well, I'm gonna have to see it then, unless it was like kind of put together by somebody. But I don't think it was an official music video. But I could be wrong. I have been obviously wrong before, but dude, that was probably my first introduction to Twisted Sister because I was a huge, massive Pee Wee Herman fan at the age of 6 or 7 or 8, whatever I was. But yeah, that was probably the first song I heard from Twisted Sister was "Burn in Hell."
It's a great
Rules.
song to be the first to hear.
All right, so I'm gonna go off of the Under the Blade release, and we're going to go with the startup track to it all. The "Good evening." What you don't know sure can't hurt you. So there you go. Right? Sure
Right.
can hurt you. Tongue twister there. But yeah, this song just rips your face off. It's almost like you could use it for a start off to like a concert or something. This would be like the curtain rolls down and this is the jam that fucking just blasts your face. Welcome to Twisted Sister, motherfucker. So there it is.
That's a very good one. All right, so my number 6 is off the Come Out and Play release, and it's the title track to Come Out and Play. Come Out and Play. Right? The beginning, man, real crazy, real funny. It's funny how they kind of end it too, but I think it's really catchy. I think it's probably, to me, man, one of the greatest songs that they've ever written. Obviously, it's number 6, but yeah, Come Out and Play. It's just catchy. It's very catchy and super heavy. I think this is one of the heaviest songs they ever writ, honestly. But yeah.
Absolutely. All right. So my number 5 choice. I know it's kind of cliche, but this song fucking rules. Despite how popular it is, despite how I don't know how overused it is and isn't. Um, I'm going off of the Stay Hungry release, and I'm going with I Wanna Rock. I've always loved this song. The video is just awesome. You know, the Animal House references in it just rule. Fucking Niedermeyer getting soaked by, you know, Flounder. It didn't get to happen in the movie, but it happened in the music video, which I thought was kind of cool. Little nice nod to that whole movie that rules too. Um, this song I remember hearing for the first time in GTA Vice City
Hmm.
for some reason. Again, it was like 2002, so it was or 2002, 2003, 2004 era. Can't remember at this point, but it was, you know, pretty early on. This was like my first introduction to like kind of heavier style music. So yeah, and I Wanna Rock, I think was like one of the first riffs I ever learned on guitar
Oh,
because
right
it's
on.
all like chords and whatnot. So yeah, this song rules. So I Wanna Rock.
Right on. So we're down to number 5. Mine's off the Stay Hungry album as well. And it's the song The Price. It's the slow ballad. It's a really deep song, man. And I don't know, just one of those that really touch you and just kind of bring you to a new reality or to an actual reality. But yeah, always the price you gotta pay for all the games we gotta play.
More on that in a minute.
Right on.
So my number 4 choice, I'm going off the Come Out and Play release, and I'm going with The Fire Still Burns. I couldn't believe this was a Twisted Sister song. It's just that it almost sounds like anthemic. The fire, the fire, just rules. I couldn't believe that had missed this. I had to go back into the catalog and kind of like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. You know, it's just one
Right,
of those songs that's like kind of like an I Wanna Rock. It's kind of feels like it's always been there. You know what I
right.
mean?
Hmm.
And this song, I forgot that it was the Twisted Sister song. So yeah, The Fire Still Burns rules.
Very much so. So my number 4 is off the You Can't Stop Rock and Roll release. It's the song The Kids Are Back. This is usually when I seen them here the last few times that they've played, uh, when they did the reunion, they came here and played twice. And this is the song they opened with. And what a great opening song for a live set. But yeah, this one's always kind of just kicked my. I was later to discover this album. I mean, I discovered this after Stay Hungry, of course, but this was one of the ones that just kick you in the face, man. I love it.
Absolutely. It's great track. This one almost made my list, the opening track to the You Can't Stop Rock and Roll release. So yeah, great choice, man.
Thank you.
So my number 3, I'm going off of the Under the Blade release. This is one that I wish I got to see live. In You're Tormented. Sin after sin. Wow, now, 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 now. You're tormented. Yeah, fucking rules. So yeah, I'm going with Sin After Sin off of the Under the Blade album. So number 3,
Right
just
on.
can't. It's yet I know this album got like recorded and remixed like twice or something like that, right? Like the original was like way too muddy, and so they remixed it.
Yeah, I
And
think
so
so.
like the regular version that I've heard is the like the remix version. So I haven't heard the original to judge it off of, but this remix just absolutely destroys. It's like almost become the original of it all.
Right. Right. Hell yeah. Okay, so moving on. My number 3 is also off the You Can't Stop Rock and Roll album, and it's the song Like a Knife in the Back. When I first heard this, man, I was like, wow, that's intense. Again, it's don't need anything. You don't need any shit. You don't need that. You don't need anything like a knife in the back. Feels like you're always getting stuck with a knife in the back. Very cool. Very cool. And the riff rules. Of course, Twisted Sister. The riff rules. The vocals rule. I just love this song, man. It's just it's enormous. It's gigantic. Love it. pissed.
It's pretty interesting with Twisted Sister's career that Dee Snider wrote a majority of the material, dude. It just
Yeah,
I can't believe maybe I mean maybe at this point I can believe it, but it seems like it's a band effort that makes Twisted Sister what it is, you know.
yeah. That's
It
what I
doesn't feel
always
it
thought.
doesn't feel like one guy writing and then everybody else learning. It feels like the whole band kind of wrote it in, the session and went in to record it. So I always found
Yeah,
that kind of strange. I don't know why I get that feeling from listening to Twisted Sister, but so I'm gonna go off of the Stay Hungry release. My number two choice is the title track. It's the opening track to the record. It's one of the all-time greats, in my opinion, to start off a record, and this is Stay Hungry. Again, another like it almost sounds anthemic. You know what I mean? So the production on this album, I wish that like every record sounded like this in their discography. You know what I mean? But they
right.
got it right, at least, you know, 100% to a T on the Stay Hungry release, and every song's killer. It was really difficult for me to do it. I mean, I literally could have put in every song just from this album and then called it a day. But you know,
Right,
so
right,
there you go. Stay hungry.
right. All right. Well, you know what? It's kind of odd that you say that because I'm in the same boat right there. My number two, Stay Hungry, and just like you said, yeah, it's an anthem. And going to what you were talking about on the album, what's funny is that none of the band likes that mix. They're pissed off at the producer or the engineer for making it sound like it did, which is why they went and redid it and called that Still Hungry because it wasn't heavy enough. They still wanted to continue on the You Can't Stop Rock and Roll heaviness, and they didn't get that. But I don't think they have nothing to complain about because it turned into one of the biggest selling albums of that year. So shit, I'd just be happy. But anyway, Stay Hungry. Yeah, it's huge, man. Stay hungry.
Feel the fire. Stay hungry. Don't explode. Yeah, dude. I don't mean to be singing all these songs, but they're just that
They're
good that
catchy.
I
Yeah.
can't help it, dude. And that's what I've always loved about Twisted Sister, man. It's like if I'm having a bad day, I'll put on Stay Hungry and just fucking crank that shit, dude. So it's heavy to me. But again, it's kind of different when you're in the shoes of, making and writing these records, you know what I mean? So
Right.
it's a little different story, right?
Yeah.
All right. So my last choice, and this is very surprising, but it's also a song that literally got me through a lot of shit in my life. And this was that one that I just still connect with to this day because it's almost like they predicted their own demise and the 80s demises and I guess the 90s and 2000s and whatnot. And I'm going with The Price. Um, this every time I hear the song, I crank it up. I don't shut it off or anything. It's just one of those jams that just I don't know, it hits me. It just I'm connected to it a little bit more, I guess, than all the other Twisted Sister songs. So for that reason and that reason alone, I'm going with The Price, man. Just it's just so good.
Nice. Yeah. Right on. Very cool. So we're down to my number one, and my number one, I believe, is your number 10. The title
Mm.
track to the You Can't Stop Rock and Roll release, the song You Can't Stop Rock and Roll. Heavy, it's mean. The video is uber cheesy, but it super rules. It's funny how they're filming it in England, and the cop turns out to be a metalhead when he's the one against it, and the detectives are off, and ended up growing their hair all super long. Dee Snider's driving the van, singing along. The band gets when they stop, he gets out, the band gets out, and they're jamming. Totally awesome. Um, yeah, but anyway, I think it's one of the greatest songs ever made. Honestly, it's definitely in my. If I had to do an extravagant list of 100 top songs ever, this would be in that list for sure. So nothing more you can say. Is just so rules.
Absolutely, man. It's funny that like every time I would watch Twisted Sister video, I was like, I want to be D. Schneider. He just looks so fucking rad. Like he's gonna tear your throat out. And he could sing like a motherfucker, you know what I mean? And he
Yeah,
can still do it. He's
I
not like
know.
a lot of the singers from his day that just can't cut the mustard anymore, you know? So you got to give it to D. Schneider, man. Whether you know, politics aside, music wise, I just he just rules,
Right.
you
I
know?
agree. I agree.
So
He still sounds just as amazing as he did in 1980s.
and he looks almost the same too with all the makeup and hair and whatnot. So yeah, you got to give it to him as far as like his performance wise. One of the all time greatest frontmen in my opinion ever.
Ever. Yep, I would
So
agree.
so well, Shannon, that was a lot of fun. This is a shorter episode. Before we get out of here, obviously, I always like to ask what's going on in your world. I know that we got some new Avenger Blood stuff cooking. I know you're re-recording the album, the Complete Annihilation record as we speak, and hopefully new stuff along the way, man. So, any other news besides those two aspects?
No, that's it. That's it. Just
Right on.
glad to be doing the show.
Absolutely.
That's
I look forward
all
to
right.
many more episodes, and obviously, we're going to have some killer topics, guys. So stay tuned with us. Obviously, we'll try and what is it, entertain you guys as much as we can. And for another episode of Popper's Corner, me and Shannon are out of here, guys. Cheers.